you can see white people protesting in a very violent way. They would they would tip over a car. They could put it on fire. They could make a fire. They could destroy property. And we used to just say, just these young white individuals just trying to get a word out. But us, on the other hand, we'll just be walking on the street with a sign up, just walking, minding our own business, not doing anything, and we will be called thugs. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this new podcast called Into Reality. Now, you might be wondering, how did I come up with the name for this podcast? Well, in this podcast, we're going to talk about whatever and however we want to talk about things. So we could be talking about things happening in the real world. We can talk about things that don't matter, but we still want to talk about them for the sake of talking about them, and anything else that pleases us. So I am the host with the most, Usman Bello, aka Mr. IBB, and my co-hosts are supposed to be my brother and another person called Abdullahi. But unfortunately, if you know Khalil, then you know he's not serious about things. And Abdullahi is busy with some things. And I'm going to put the quote unquote busy because I wondered to myself, he's actually busy or not. But that's for another time. Anyways, to make up for the absentees, I have a very wonderful and special person alongside me today. She goes by the name of Aisha Lawal. Thank you for coming, Aisha. How are you today?
I'm you're welcome, and I'm fine. I'm doing good actually.
That is that is great to hear. Now, obviously, people haven't heard about you or seen you before. I mean, obviously, they won't see you now, but haven't heard about you before. So, without saying something that you wouldn't want to say, what can you say about yourself?
Well, as you know, you already had you and my brother were planning this, but my brother is sick, so I'm the step in for my brother.
Oh, so you're covering for him. Right now,
Uh, yeah, I'm covering for him.
that's okay. Hey, who knows? If who knows, you might you might actually come here and be part of the whole podcast itself. But we shall move on.
Yes.
Now, also one thing about Aisha, I've known her a long time ago. We go way back, around the early 2000s. We are the
Yeah.
same age, but one thing I will admit, she is very smarter than me. So if I say anything on this podcast which sounds stupid or dumb, what listen to her humble me with her intelligence.
Right.
But anyways, let's start talking.
Hmm.
As I already have my topic, but I'm gonna say ladies can go first.
Okay. Well, let's let's start by addressing an important issue, very important actually, about BLM. What is BLM? Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
I know pretty much by this stage, a lot of people know what's going on, what happened, and what's still carrying on to this day.
And still happening.
Yeah, still happening. People, a group of people like the Black community are coming out to protest on how unjustly people have been treating us, which is the other community which we're not going to say. Everybody knows how just because of our color that just because of our color we're treated unfairly, we're labeled as terrorists, we're labeled as bad people, we're labeled as gangsters, and it's gotten to the stage that people are tired. Like we're actually tired of it. We're actually tired of it. Like people, like police have the police think they have the right to pull you over just because of your color. They have the right to lock you away just because of your color. They have the right, if you go to a shopping mall, like people follow you thinking like, oh, there's a black person there, they're going to steal something, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Very ridiculous, because just because of our color, just because of our color and who we are, doesn't mean that we're bad people. Actually, in black people have actually gone on to do a lot of things, especially those Americans that think, oh, that they're Americans, they're white, they're smarter than us, they're better than us, which is not true. There's a lot of Africans that have gone on to do wonderful things. Black people that have gone on to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, and they've gone on to like created a lot of things, and designed beautiful things, and there are doctors that are smart, that they're contributing to the society. Majority of like people that actually doctors that I know, that majority of doctors that work in America are not really are either not really the Americans, or they're either mixed race, they're either Asian, or they're even African, Black African, or African Americans. And that should be the like show people that we're not just a race that think about, oh, we're gangsters, we're illiterate, we don't care, we don't. It's not that. Sorry if I'm just jumbling.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just sorry. I'm just kind of nervous. This is my first time.
It's all right. No problem.
It's not like it's just because you're a race doesn't mean that. Just because we're black doesn't mean that we're just criminals. That's what I'm going to say, because we're not. And I'm very sure a lot of people saw the disgusting video of George Floyd, which that shows that he was murdered. He was actually, this one is not an accident. It's not like he didn't know. It's like he was murdered by a police officer who knelt down on his neck. And the guy, a grown man in his 40s, was begging the police officer, saying he cannot breathe. And he was begging him to the point that he was crying out for his mother. And the policeman thought maybe he had the right to do it. Maybe what he was doing was maybe correct or not wrong in his mind, because that guy was a black man. For something like just for $20, a $20 fake note, he killed a man. That shows you that, yeah, we're not, that our race, our color is not being like, we're not, they don't care about us. They think, oh, we're okay. And this is not the first time. There has been multiple examples of white people calling police on black people just because, oh, they were on one and they were having a barbecue party in a park, which was allowed, but still the woman decided to call the police. A black girl was selling water to save money for Disneyland, and a woman still called the police on a girl. Imagine that, a small girl, and you call the police on her. And there's a recent video of 2 men shooting and killing a black man, which I think it's still being investigated. That video is still investigated, but I haven't heard much from that area. And then there's like other cases of a video of a man walking, and he was telling a woman to to like to like put to like look after her dog, and then she was just like threatening him she's going to call the police. It shouldn't get to that stage that when we call the police, when you call the police, that you call the first calling a police. Wait, it shouldn't get to that stage that way you call a police on a black person just because he's telling you, like, ma'am, look after his dog, look after your dog. That is just that's just, I don't know that what is that. I think that is just stupid. And that shows you that what people think of black people. And the more stupid thing I think it is for the police to rush over. How they rush over. If it was let's say if it was like reverse. It was a black man walking, a black woman walking with her dog, and a white person there. I'm very sure if she calls and says, "Oh, 911, what's your emergency?" She's like, "Oh, there's a white man that is terrorizing me with me and my dog." I don't think the people will take it as seriously as saying, "Oh, there's a black man." I don't think the police would come as fast, or the police would be like so eager to like see what's going on. But that's my opinion on the thing. What is yours? Hello, Usman.
Thinking about this thing, people think it only started to become an issue from the George Floyd incident, which is completely wrong. This has been happening for over 400 years. We're going all the way back to the 1600s, back when the white man came all the way to Africa, took our people, brought them to America, and made them slaves. That is when the problem started. That was when what the white people thought it would be okay to just turn a black man into a slave and just say the N-word of them, which is still racist to this day. Because if you're not black, no one else can say the N-word. Not even if you're from America, not even if you're from China, not because it's borderline racist. And people think, then how come we call ourselves the N-word? It's pretty much because we've taken that word, we made it less offensive and more in the way of, oh, you're my buddy, you're my homie, and whatnot. And all these incidents have been happening for a very long time, and there's so many names that are there. I can just say like Tamir Rice, Sandra. Then there's Ahmed, the one that was drunk and got killed by the police. It's been racking and stacking up to the point when the George Floyd incident happened. That's when we said, that's it. It's gone too far at this point. It's gone too far. And the other thing I hate about the situation is the media. I don't watch the news because of how biased they can be. I actually hate watching the news because you can see white people protesting in a very violent way. They would tip over a car. They can put it on fire. They could make a fire. They could destroy property. And the news would just say, just these young white individuals just trying to get a word out. But us, on the other hand, we'll just be walking on the street with a sign up, just walking, minding our own business, not doing anything, and we will be called thugs. Why? Why are we called thugs? What have we done that we deserve to be called thugs? It's stupid at this point. And not only that, we're in the year 2020. This is 2020. We're already 2 decades in the 2000th century, and people are still being racist. It's either you're dumb, or someone has just corrupted your head telling you it's okay to be racist. Because let's get this right. No one is ever born racist. No one's ever born racist. I'm not. I was never born racist. I was never born and be told, oh, you can't like these people. because of this. You kind of like those people because of that. No one is is born racist. It's something that has been put into your head at a young age, and it could start all the way from preschool. When it's if someone's parents tells you, you can't hang out with this person because they're white, you can't hang out with this person because they're Mexican. That's where the whole problem starts. It starts from when you're young, and from that point, you'll carry it up when you get older, and then you tell your kids the same thing you were told when you were a kid. That's that's how racism still becomes a relevant topic in today's society.
That is that is very true. It's like I think the white people. No offense. I don't want to offend anybody there or anyone, but they have some of them have it in their mind. Oh, I am this. I am smart. I am intelligent. I am powerful, and these people are beneath my notice. These people are not even human, which is not the case. You have if you have the mentality of going to another country, a country that is not even yours, taking the people, the women, the children, the men from their country, sailing them to another country and enslaving them, then I'm very sorry, but there's something wrong with you. If you think as a human being you have the right, you have the right to enslave another human being just because you think that your way of life, your way of thinking, your dress code, your education is better than them. No. That that that's just wrong. Wrong in so many levels. But that's what happened. You can see South Africa. They invaded South Africa. The apartheid. You cannot even marry. You do not have the right to work in certain areas. In their own country, in their motherland. This is where their grandparents grew up. This is their land by right, by birth. But they didn't have the right to have own certain places, go to certain places, eat in certain places, work in certain places. And then when you have a child that is mixed race, they're taken away from you because that's a crime. Which kind of mind, which kind of lack of empathy, which kind of lack of passion or care or lack of just human common sense will make you think that that's right just because you're white. So what? You're white, so what? The skin color does not define the person. I know there's a lot of white people that you will meet that are uneducated, that you'd be like, oh God, what are these people thinking? Vice versa, we're all humans. We all have the same inside of us. We all have the same blood. We all have the same organs. All have the same systems. So why, just because of something that is in the outside, that that makes you think that you have the right to like judge a person? If you just put it in your mind, it's just like you look at it. What gives you the right to judge that human being? What gives you the right? You're a human being. If you've been shot, you will bleed. And the color that he will come out of your body is the same color that will come out of his body. The organs that is in his body is the same organs that is in his body. So what in your mind gives you the right to judge? We're all people. And the racism, Black people has been through so much. Where white people look down on us, and no offense, Arabs also look down on us. They think we're disgusting, which is terrible to say, but that's what they grew up thinking, that white people we're lazy, which is not the case. Black people have achieved so much in life. A lot of us are there in America. They're working. We're surgeons. We're helping people. We're engineers. We're building things. We're creating things. We're intelligent. A lot of universities now, you see that it's like the Black that usually carry first, or carry like they graduate best. We try, but people just because of your skin color, you're born with this color of the skin, and from the moment you're birthed, you're doomed to people thinking lesser of you just because of who you are. We have so much history. We have so much good history behind us. We have so much pain behind us. And then people will think just because, oh yeah, they're this a certain people. Oh yeah, we built cars before you. Oh yeah, we had an education system before you, which people should put it in their mind that every country is different, and every country, yeah, you had an education system. So yeah, maybe you you were the first person to figure out the human body. Good for you. That's good for you. You helped a lot of people. A lot of people, and your education and your history will go on to you. That's good for you. But in other countries, like in Africa, like in history, if you check our history, like in Africa, like for some fevers, like from some ailments, our ancestors already knew the plants that they will go to, the plants that we're still using today to make drugs. They already knew that. They already figured out that if they go and take this will help them with this pain. This will help them to cure this ailment. They already know. And not only do people look down on us, they look down on our tradition. We are we brought a lot of things to them. We brought dance to them because, no offense, you white people don't have any dance things because they don't. They cannot dance. We brought a lot of cultures to them. I'm very sure, like, not even black people, if Asians, Latin, every ethnicity should leave your country and leave you with only you guys, you have nothing. If Brazil should shut down, if either places from Africa should shut down, in like other countries should shut down and say no, they're done with you. Where are you going to get your coffee beans that you have to take every morning? It's not like you guys are producing it. Some restaurants that you enjoy, it's not like majority of the cooks are you guys. Some seasoning, some things, you don't find them in your area. It's from other countries that they brought to you. So people just don't put it in their mind that yes, they're white, but they're not the best. Like, this is 2020. Every country is actually doing great for themselves, and they should. And I think some people even have in their mind that just because we're black, that a lot of us are just like poor. We don't have anything. I think they pull it because if you see in TV, each time they show like charity, like give out charity or commercials saying, oh, these people are poor, these people don't have money, they usually show in Africa. They never do show our billionaires, and we do have people that have money that they cannot comprehend. If you come to our country, Nigeria, if you come to Nigeria, you go to certain areas in Lagos, you go to certain areas in Abuja, in Kaduna, even certain areas here in our states, you will know, like, yeah, these people are like rich. But I don't know what to say about it, but it's just like, it's a mentality that some people have from since they're young. And like in people, like, since they were small, habits, since they were small, and they're just like, say, their parents kept saying, like, these people are bad, these people, you grow up with it. And bad habits like these are very hard to break. Like in Hausa, there was always like, if you see somebody's habit change, it was never theirs. So yeah, it's very hard to break. But I think, like, as time goes on, people have to acknowledge that you're not the best anymore. Like, you have no right to judge somebody. You have no right to kill somebody. And if you do, like, you have to be accounted for it. You have to be accounted, because it's just like you're killing another human being. Anyway, what do you think?
Thinking about it, there are so many things that we black people have brought to the white people. that they emulate from us. Wait, emulate, is that the right word? I'll just take it as is the right word. There's so many things that we've brought to them from our culture, from our traditions, and they're copying the same things from us. Like white people listen to black people music. There are people there are the fashion designs that we brought that white people wear. And if you are one of those people that listen to our music, that talk the way we talk, wear the kind of clothes we wear, and you try to be racist to us, then my friend, you are more than stupid. Okay, you are beyond stupid. You are borderline racist. Listen you cannot listen to what we make. You cannot wear what we wear and be racist to us. In fact, let's just look at let's look at like some like okay like some crimes. If a white person went and killed someone, they would be given probably about 2 years in prison. But if a black person went and killed somebody, they're probably they're looking at life in jail, life in prison, or a death sentence. If everyone committed the same crime, aren't they supposed to be getting the same punishment? How comes one's getting 2 years, the other one spending the rest of his days in prison? And not only that, it's not only racism towards black people of the problem. That's one thing. The second thing that links within this is police brutality. Now, the police, your job as a policeman is to protect people. Your job as a police officer is to fight against injustice. Your job as a police officer is to ensure everybody will be safe from harm. But if you are a police officer and you are abusing your powers, you are a hypocrite. Not by word, but by action. Because you can say what everyone wants to hear you say. You can say, oh, I'm going to be a good police officer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure everyone is safe. I'm going to make sure no one is harmed. That is what I call some natural BS, unless you back it up. Because anyone can say anything these days. Anyone can say anything. But if you don't have the files to back it up, if you don't have what it takes to back your statement, then it's pointless. I've seen so many videos of black people being stopped by police officers for dumb reasons. One was caught by a police officer for no reason. Like, the police are reason about some people say like, oh, there's some bad cops, but there are some good cops at the same time. Yes, I feel bad for all the good police officers who will have to see their reputation tarnished because of the black, sorry, not the black, because of the bad police officers there are. In fact, how comes there's even bad police officers within them? Like, everyone is supposed to be good. If it was a bad police officer, then they don't deserve to be a police officer. If they think they can just abuse their powers, whatsoever. Like, if I'm looking at how people recruit people to become police officers, I think they will have to look at these perspectives and think, are these enough for people to become police officers? Because it feels like anyone could become a police officer and just do the job however they do it. Because there are police officers out there, they will go and abuse their powers, but nothing will be done to them. They won't suffer any consequences. They won't suffer any punishment. Probably because of the people that hired them. Now, they should really change the requirements in becoming a police officer. They need to make it where to a point where you really need to be serious and you really want to be determined to protect people, abide by the law, and stop anyone who is not abiding by the law. Because the police, like I said, they're just abusing their powers. They have the power, they will abuse it anyhow, and nothing is done to them in the end.
That is true. That's very true. Well, I think police brutality, I don't, not even in America, not a lot of countries, people has been like facing the same difficulty, same problem. For example, like even in Africa, like we have police that tend to like do what they want without any care of the rights they're being violated or care of actually the people. Like some people being arrested for not committing any crimes. That I think that one is like a serious issue that world leaders, like African leaders, like even American leaders and African leaders should like really look into, because police brutality has been like a problem for so long.
But the only problem in America with the police brutality, it's always towards the black people. It's never towards the white people because if they pull a white person over and they see that even if they do something wrong, they'll just be let off the hook and be told they're given a warning or at max a ticket. It's only when they do something wrong like drink driving that's when they get arrested. A black person on the other hand could be driving sanely and still get pulled over and still be told to get out of the car, still get handcuffed and get beaten up. That's why it's more looked at in the United States than any other country. And I do agree that police brutality happens in many countries. Like South America could be a good example because if you look at some countries in South America, in some places, all you have to do is bribe the police and they immediately let you off the hook. If you try that in other countries, you get arrested for trying to bribe a police officer.
That's true. Like in America, that's the police brutality is usually due to racism. That is true. A lot of the cases, I think a majority of the cases are always to do with black people and police. It got to the extent like black people are afraid of the police. You see a police, like a police car going through your driveway. Like even children nowadays, which is very sad, know to when they see a police officer to run or to hide. It got into the extent that even like small children, they know like nothing good comes with the police, which is not an image, a very good image. Police are to do with like protecting the society and help maintain your human rights. But now for black people, I don't think that they have I don't think that when they see the police, they see somebody that maintains their human right. They see somebody here to protect them. No, they see another enemy. They see somebody that, whether it's pretty much in America, it's usually innocent to proven guilty. For black people, it's guilty till proven innocent. Like America has really, really, really really strong history of racism. Not even America, even UK has a really big history of like how they treat black people. You know that like in America there was the youngest boy to be executed. The youngest boy to be executed, I think he was around 12, 11 years old, and he was executed for a crime he didn't commit. Imagine that. A, a small boy being executed for like they said that he killed two white women, two white girls. He didn't do it. It was somebody else. But because their family wanted to cover up, they said it was him. And he was put in an electric chair. And because of the electric chair, he was so small that he couldn't reach the top of top of the chair where the hat, the thing, I don't know what it's called or anything, but the hat was meant to place on his head. They had to use a Bible for him to sit on. And he was like, when he was electrocuted, he was just so small, and the things are usually meant for big people, like adults. But his hand like slipped off all the bindings and everything just because he was really small. And those people sat there and watched it. And this problem, I hope like with the death of George Floyd, that things will get better. People will start realizing that we're in a different era, that it's time for like, yeah, black people to be treated like human. Actually preach what you teach. Like they talk about human rights, human things, but they're right now the only group of humans that have rights are white people. And it's time for us it's time for us to also have rights. It's time for us not to be afraid of going places. It's time for us not to be judged in school. It's time for us to be like, when we write exams, when we do things, to be judged for what we write, not for what we are. Because as this continues, people are growing up, people are seeing, people are waking up. This cannot continue. And I think like the people there are just tired, which is they have all the rights to be tired. And this is just not in America. In other countries as well, people will be like, oh, why are we talking about it? It's happening in America. Yeah, it happens in America, but that doesn't mean the racism doesn't happen in other countries. It's just what happened to America. Like countries should wake up, because they see what happened to in American can happen in their own country. And it's if they keep like ignoring the problems, they keep ignoring problems, that is just some of the effects that could happen. What happened in America is the results of what can happen in their country. So the last thing I'm going to say about this topic is just like, countries should wake up. Countries should be alert. Countries should deal with it. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're a terrorist, doesn't mean you're a criminal, doesn't mean you're a gang, doesn't mean you're stupid. We're all the same. We're all the same. And the thing is, we're all the same, and we're all just the way that we're born. It's just that that's going the way you're going to die. We're all going to die someday, and we're going to you're going to be put in the ground, or the people that are going to be burned are going to be burned, or the people that are going to be buried in the oceans are going to be. But we all die someday. We all get the same illnesses. We're all the same. Color is just something that you see, but what a person is inside. So that's the last thing I'm saying about this topic.
Before we end this topic, there are some things I just want to point out.
Again?
Let's look at Michael Jackson. Obviously, he was born black. He turned himself white. Did I look at him differently? Did I look at him as a different person? No, because it's just the front. The outside doesn't present what's on the inside. And like, I think he said it. I think he said it best. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. And this was like when? Late 80s, early 90s? Yet, this is still an issue because if black people aren't accepted in some countries, France will not have a complete national football team. Half of their squad are full of black people from different African countries. There are black people in England, black people in Ireland, black people in Germany, black people in Asia, black people in South America. Black people are everywhere. We are no different from the rest of you. We're no different. Another thing is is the Black History Month. Honestly, I don't get it. Why is Black History only celebrated in a month? Why is it only being celebrated in in February? In fact, why? That's just my question. Why is it just a thing in February? Why is it only dedicated 1 month to look back at all the history of the black people? In fact, it's not even history of most black people. They only mainly talk about one person. And obviously we all know that that one person is Martin Luther King, where he said, I had a dream that one day we won't be discriminated by the color of our skin. At most, even if it reaches that pinnacle, two people, other is Malcolm X. I believe that Black history should be in the educate it be in the education syllabus. Okay, I'm not sounding great for this. It should be part of education in the primary school, secondary school, and even in universities. Because most history that's talked about is the white person, either the Americans or the Europeans. Again, you barely hear little about history within Asia or history in the Middle East. Most history that's being talked about in school is the white man. Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Edison, George Washington, Churchill, Hitler, Stalin. Need I say more? This is just a very annoying thing that just bothers me. If we're gonna talk about Black history, it should be talked about the same amount of times white history is being talked about. And so should the rest of other history, because when they say a white person found this or invented that, guess what? No, it wasn't. It was probably an Arab man that found it before the white person did. But because the white person has the resources and the credibility and the people around him, they'll just say, "Oh, it was that person that got it." Anyways, when we say Black Lives Matter, we don't mean only our lives matter. That's not it. When we say Black Lives Matter, we mean Black Lives Matter just as much as every other life on earth. We're all the same. We're not above anyone. And I'm sure no one is below us. We're all the same. We can't be discriminating each other. That's what I have to say about this whole Black Lives Matter situation. I mean, that's just my take on it. Now, I'm gonna talk about this situation that's been happening. But before we get to that, my question is, what is your thoughts of sexual harassment? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Well, I don't think it's a disgusting thing. And sadly, it's been happening a lot more than it should, which is terrible. It's been happening a lot, and people's lives have been changed. So I think that uh, sexual harassment, it's a problem, and a problem that a lot of people are not ready, to like understand, are not ready to. It's a like a disease that people are not ready to cure. They don't want to go there that way because they don't think a much of an important topic. They think like a lot of victims nowadays, when they're brave enough to come forward and say this happened, a lot of people are just saying, oh, the person's lying, or it was the person's fault, which is not, and it's never the victim's fault. That's my take on it.
The reason I ask about this is mainly because of this topic that's happened probably a week or two ago, and I'm just gonna display it here. Rape and murder of student in church sparks outrage across Nigeria. Brutality of 22-year-old Vera Owela Omozua's killing has shocked the country amid a chorus of demands for justice. Now, why? Why? Why do you think it's such a good idea to just go out and find sexual intent from someone who doesn't want to give it to you? If the person says no, it's no. But let me just read on this. Beruela Omozua, a 22-year-old microbiology student, sought the quiet of her empty church in Benin City, southern Nigeria, as a place to study. Hours later, she was raped and killed in a crime that sparked outrage across Nigeria. On that Sunday evening, a church security guard found Ua, as she is known, unconscious in a pool of blood, according to her family. Now, I don't even need to read further onto it. You already know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's so inhuman of you to rape someone. And I'm not talking about a man raping a woman, because a woman can also rape a boy. It goes both ways. But because most of the time it's the man that rapes the woman, that's why males are always looked at as inhuman. What gives you the right to go and rape someone? What gives? What?
I don't think it's about what gives them a right. I think it's come to a day and age where they know that they can do it, and they know that they can get away with it. Like, let's just say, for example, women. When women have it very difficult to comfort comfort about like these things, because our society these days will look at them as like bad people, as it's their fault. It's never like, what, you don't wish for these things, and you don't go looking for these things, Emma. When it happens, people always tend to blame the girl. What is she wearing? What was she doing? What was she saying? All these words, which is not the case. If somebody comes forward and have the courage, and they have the courage to tell you what happened, the first thing you should do is like look for, it's not to discourage the person, because it takes a lot and a lot of courage for you to stand up and say, this person did this to me. And that's the reason I think a lot of people are just like saying they know it's not what gives them. They know they will get away with it, either because they're rich, or either because their parents are very influential, or either because they just know nobody cares, which is sad, very sad, especially in our place, in our country, where our society have different mental way of thinking. They think like anything that small things, it's always, oh, it's always the victim's fault. It's always the victim's fault. They never think like, no, the one that did it does not have the right. No means no. It doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean okay. It means no. And they should put in their head that that's what it is. They should think like, if it happened to their sisters, their mothers, their wives, what would they feel? But they don't, because a lot of criminals do these things and a lot of them get away with it. If you see somebody getting prosecuted for that, especially in Nigeria, they are poor. But you never see the rich getting prosecuted for that. And with that is a problem, a big problem that needs solving. And it really does need solving, because people are just getting away with a lot of things. They ruin people's life. People commit suicide. People go into depression. From there, people start having bad habits. All because of that, and all because of something that we can avoid. We can try and help the person, but we choose not to. We choose to ostracize the person. We choose to bully the person. We choose to blame the person. We choose to want to seclude her from society. Each place that the person is walking in, they're just being pointed at, reminding them each and every day that this happened. That's my take on it.
The problem I have with this whole situation is that this can happen to anyone at any age, at any time of their life. Because there is another story I heard about a girl called Khadija who was like 3 to 6 years old, who was looked after by a young man, probably in his early 20s. She thought, oh, this person, she could look up to this person, she could feel protected from this person. But no, the one person you thought could protect you is the one who brings you down. It's absolutely disgusting. And I just want to look at this part over here. Sexual violence is endemic in Africa's most populous country. Data on the number of reported cases is very limited, but a national survey on violence against children in Nigeria, conducted in 2014, found that 1 in 4 women had sexual violence in childhood, with approximately 70% reporting more than one incident. Only 5% sought help, and only 3% served any services. Women and activists in Nigeria have in recent years demanded greater action against sexual violence, yet reported crimes come up against the systemic failings of Nigeria's criminal justice system, which rarely prosecutes cases. Police have already been criticized for their response to Lawal's murder. Evidence at the scene remained uncollected for days after the crime, said Ak Pobi. And this is one of the things. No one cares. Almost feels like no one cares. I like you said, they'll say it's your fault that you got yourself in that situation, which obviously is far from the truth. And because Nigeria is one of the most corrupted countries on the planet, something like this happen and no one does anything about it. And not only that, it messes with a person's head versus with their messes with their thinking. Because if it happened to you when you were young and then you grow older and understand what happened to you, it almost feels like you become a lost cause. And you don't have the confidence to say anything about it because it's hurt them not only physically but mentally as well. And I feel sorry for anyone whoever has to go through that kind of situation. It's not fair. It's so unfair. That's why you see on social media, everyone has been getting their thoughts out, have been frustrated, and they have a right to be frustrated because this is some parents' child that was been not only raped but killed as well. Like sometimes talking about these sensitive topics is hard to bring out words because at one side you understand what's happening, but at the other time you wouldn't know how it would feel to be that person, to be in their shoes that goes through this problem. One question I would ask, in your opinion, how should law enforcers or crime fighters do when this sort of case comes up?
Can you repeat that?
In your opinion, how should crime fighters deal with these cases from start to when the person is being punished?
I think they should take it they should take it seriously. Like when a person comes to you and report that this person from this household did this to me, you should take as it's your obligation. It's what if it's what you're working for. It is compulsory for you to take her case as seriously as possible. You should think that, okay, this person came to me. It could have been my child. It could have been my wife, my brother, my sister, that this happens to. So you should take it serious because it's a serious matter. And after that, you make sure you allow the person to talk, to get their statement. Then with that, you go and arrest the person. After arresting the person, you make sure that you investigate and you put your passion into it. You investigate the case. You find out that that person is guilty, and then you make sure that you make sure your due is served. That you served the person that brought you the complaint, and you're able to prosecute that person. You're able to like get her rights, get her what is owed to her. Makes sure that she has a peace of mind that whoever did that to her will be behind bars. Not like how they do. Like nowadays, police officers, you go, you arrest. If the person is in this certain household, you just bribe them and shikena. That is all. The person is free. They can go. And that woman or that man has to live with their tormentor every single day, knowing that nothing happens. You as a police officer, You have the obligation. It's compulsory for when the individual comes to you with a problem, a serious problem, especially in that nature. You have a very strong obligation to go and find out and to go and investigate the truth. It is what you wear that badge for. It is what you are working for. It's the reason why people are paying you, and it's the reason why you are there. If you can't do your job, step down. But nowadays, people don't even care about that. They care about who has money. If you have money, don't worry, you're okay. Which is very sad and very frustrating. The day that us and police officers stop taking bribe is the day that our nation will be able to continue. Crimes should not go unpunished, especially serious as this. It should never be left unpunished. It should always be taken as serious, because you never know. One day it will be somebody that's close to you. But the people don't always think about it, because they always have in their mentality, nothing will happen to somebody close to me, which is not the case. It's really sad of how people are just like dealing with it. It's so sad that it's never shown as serious as before. This is not the first case. This is not the second case, and I'm very sure this will not be the last case. Until people start taking it seriously, until people stop blaming the victim. That is when women, men, any victim will have peace of mind, knowing when they go, when they complain, when they tell their story, when they get the courage to go and say this person did, they will know in their mind that yes, justice would be served to me. But not now. Now I don't think. It's just a really hard topic to think, because you're angry that nothing is done until our leaders start actually caring about us. But until that, all we can do is, as a society, if somebody comes to us and say, oh, this happened to us, we should not shoo them away. We should listen to them, hear them out, and try our best for the person to have justice, because that is what we all can. Change starts with an individual. If you do it, he does it, she does it, they do it, then that's how we're going to get to change the society, to change things around. But if she's like, it's none of my business, he's like, it's none of my, they're like, it's none of our business, then it's never going to be anybody's business. This is our country, this is our people, this is our children, these are our sisters, our brothers, our sister, our relatives. We should try our best to make sure that our family members are safe, our family members are well looked after. If something happened, you'll know they will get justice. And we should not put that I don't care attitude. It doesn't happen to us. It can happen to you. You never know. Life works in mysterious ways. You never know. I'm not gonna say that it should, but you should never put it in that this situation can never happen to me. It can happen to anybody. So
one thing that I would recommend for anyone, including girls and women too, is to learn some self-defense. Now, trust me, if you learn how to self-defend yourself, you would be getting yourself away from many problems. And it's not I'm not going to say it's not hard, but anyone can learn some self-defense. I just hope people take this situation very, very seriously. Because imagine being the father of the daughter that's been raped. I would be I would be out there looking for that person and with no mercy, just be beating that person because this is my daughter, and you have no right whatsoever to touch her in that way. No right at all whatsoever. And for those that don't take it seriously, like you said, if you don't take it seriously, no one's gonna take it seriously. And again, I'll have to say what Michael Jackson said. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Because change would start with can start with one person. One person stands up and tells himself he's gonna go and make that change. And then people look at it, then trust me, the rest of them will be making that change. Now, I know we've been going through sad and depression lane. I just wanna look at this clip that I still find funny. I saw this on WhatsApp. I'm probably you have too. But let me just put it on for you and see what you think of it.
So I hear by the name of Beelalgy, representing the Nigerian Police of Nigeria. Yemen, Swabani, aka Laji, Lara Tukaya. Blacks. Yemana. Blacks. Yemana. Blacks. Yemana.
Oh, this person is a fool. He is an absolute fool. Who told him it was a good idea to put on a police officer uniform and then put it on Instagram and say you are a police officer representing the Nigerian police and thinking that it's all fine, you're gonna get away with it. Like, have you seen the video before?
No, this is my first time actually seeing the video.
So this person going by that nickname of Beelalgy, he went and found the police officer uniform, put it on, and he's saying that, his name is Beelalgy, representing the Nigerian police force.
Mm.
And then anytime someone said his name, Beelalgy, you say Emana, Beelalgy, Emana. And for anyone that's not outside, doesn't understand what was being said, when they say Emana, it means, of course, it is. But what do you think of that? What do you think of that clip that you just saw?
I think I don't find it funny, but I find it like it's so ridiculous that it's funny. I find it ridiculous that it's kind of an amusing.
It's just when I saw it first, I just thought, oh, okay, it's just someone in a police uniform. But when I realized how young he looked and the fact that he had AirPods in his ear, I started thinking, hold on, is this person an actual police officer? Until I saw the next clip, and that was the funniest thing that I have seen. Let's see if I can find it. And the funny thing is, that person is from Kanu. I'm just thinking to myself, how about Kanawa? Why? Why do you people do this to yourself? Why do you become a laughing stock? Why do you embarrass yourselves? for the rest of the country to see and to laugh. I mean, you're giving us content. At least we can have something to share to our family and friends and laugh about it and have a conversation about it. But you're just making yourself look like utter fools. Big fools.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I found it here. Let me just get to it. Okay.
Guy, are you Beelalgy or not? Yes. Look, so I want you to apologize. I want you to apologize for what you have done. I'm sorry for the uniform. Who gave you the uniform? Impersonation. So you know it's wrong. Why did you do it? You even know. You know why? You are telling Beelalgy. Bring your phone. Bring your phone. So I will video with your phone. You post it now. And let me tell you, if you delete that post in 24 hours, see, I'll come back for you. You better. We were here even before you come. Exactly. We were here before you come. So mark time, guy, take that. All I care are here looking for you for so long. Let me tell you. So be careful.
Well, he got what he deserved.
It's still funny to me. Like, I should be feeling bad, but I still find it funny because he really thought that he could just put it on and put it on social media and no one will notice. When you have probably about thousands of followers following you, you didn't think no one was gonna find out? You didn't think? Oh my goodness. I mean, that in itself, that will get you arrested for the impersonation of a police officer. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Oh, I think that Beelalgy is like one of the popular young popular people in the city, I think. And he thought, I mean, if you look back at that video, if you look at his face in the first video when he's wearing the police officer uniform, he's feeling great, he's confident, he's saying, I'm a police officer. He's feeling good. And then when you look at the second video, on his knees, being confronted by people, and then there are other people out there just saying, Emana, it doesn't help you. But at the same time, it's hilarious. Like, people, don't be like Beelalgy. It's that simple. Unless you're acting in a movie, or doing a comedy show, or in a music video, or in a play, don't impersonate a police officer. It's that simple. Like, do you feel any sympathy for him?
No.
Not even a tad bit.
Nope.
So he got what he deserved.
Yes, he got what he deserved. I know that can be a little harsh, but yeah.
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You can look back, and then probably he can look back at it, and then he'll tell himself, this was a bad time in his life. He should probably never do that again." But for anyone that hasn't done it and just seen it, then my advice to you is to never impersonate a police officer. Only except if you're doing one of those things, like I said, if it's a movie, a music video, a play, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Ah, and the fact that he's from Kano just made it even more funnier. That's the only reason it's more funnier now. Because he's from Kano. Sometimes I think people from Kano have this reputation of things not going well for them. Because there was a Kano is one of the few places in Nigeria that was in quarantine. And I saw the pictures. That place was completely empty. No one there. And if they saw you outside, they sent the police officer to tell you, go back home. Oh no, 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 no. They have a better way of making you learn your lesson. If they catch you, they'll make you hold your ears and stop hopping like a frog.
Oh
We
yeah, they
we
do
call
that.
it frog jump. And to make things worse, while they're doing the frog jump, they always have the whip beating them like bam, bam, bam. It's not getting better for them.
Yep.
Oh boy, kind of people, just learn your lesson.
I don't
Just
think they'll ever learn their lesson, but they are funny,
oh yeah, they are very funny. I mean,
and we
Kano
love
did
them for that. They give us entertainment.
yes. I mean, Kano did give us Bushkido. We are forever grateful for that man.
Yep.
Oh, and just one more thing. I I'm pretty sure he probably disturbed you about it, but Liverpool are champions of the Premier League.
Yes, I heard about that.
Did he annoying you about it, or was he like just annoying the whole household?
He was annoying me.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised to hear that. He is a Liverpool fan, and it took him about 30 years just to win the Premier League. But now they won it. But it's not them I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the number of times. I'm going to talk about with them. There were years when they thought they were actually going to win it. There were years. There were some years when they thought they could actually win it, but they were always short from getting there. And it looked like every time they got close, but yet they were always far. And it's not only in football where you try to do something in life, but because it hasn't worked out, you just feel like it's never going to work.
Yep.
So I always remembered there was always things I wanted to do. I tried them out for the first time, didn't work out. I tried it again, it didn't work. I tried something different. I do it, never worked. I tried something else, didn't work. Did something else, didn't work. I tried something else, didn't work. Up to the point where I finally did something and it worked, and I feel great about it. So you could say this topic is about don't give up until you succeed. Do you like have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to do something but it never worked out for you?
I think by this stage, I think a lot of people, like if you're like 20 and above, or like you have a lot of us have realized that there are some things that are not as easy as we thought. Like, but and they're not as easy as we thought, and we get this urge to give up. But hopefully if you try and you keep on your path, everything will get better. Because I do believe that. I do believe no matter the situation, no matter what you're doing, even if it looks hopeless, you try and try and try until you get it, and eventually you will get it.
Because that's the thing that just knocks people down. They keep trying, and it doesn't work out for them. And always, like they always find this urge to be like, they give up. Like it's not working out for them. They don't believe it would ever work for them, and that's why you see people just keep it up on things. It is sad, but at the same time, it's common. You're not alone. You're not the only one that goes through the situation. Because let's look at it here. Bill Gates, he never did well in his education, but his classmates always did. And even though education never worked for him, he went and found something different that he went and did. And he went and created Microsoft and made himself one of the richest people on earth.
It's true.
Now, I'm certain that he probably tried different things, and it never worked for him. I probably felt as at some stage of his life like nothing's working for him. I felt like nothing was ever gonna work for him.
That's true. But now he's one of the richest men in the world.
Indeed. He could buy anyone's estate if he felt like it. He could just come to Beverly Hills and say, "Oh, this place looks so nice. I'm gonna buy it and make it my own." And I can do that because he's rich. He made the money. He's living life, enjoying himself. But now when it comes to Liverpool, there were years when they felt like they were close. They were about to win it, but up until the end is when they made mistakes. They slipped up, lost the first place to another team that went on and won it. And another thing that can get your confidence down is people saying, "Oh, they're not going to do it. They're never going to win it." And that is a huge factor, if I say so myself, because the ones that don't want you to succeed will be the ones saying they hope you don't succeed, they hope you don't get it, all that sorts. And I've been there before. I remember when I started doing YouTube back in late 2014, early 2015. I was in the same class with someone called Mehdi, who was also doing YouTube at the time. Now he doesn't do it anymore. I remember him telling me that I would never pass him in subscribers. Back then he had 200 subscribers. But now I have 5.8 thousand subscribers and almost close to 6,000. Whereas for him, he's deleted his YouTube channel, doesn't do YouTube anymore. He even tried doing a group YouTube channel with another bunch of people, but they only uploaded 2 videos and haven't done any more videos since then.
That's how life is.
So, like, for anyone out there who's who's trying to do something. If there's if there's a if there's a dream career you want to follow, and you feel like you won't make it, don't give up. Keep trying. If you get rejected, it's not the end of the world. Go somewhere else where where they do the same thing you're looking to do. Keep trying, because this life is about trial and error.
Yeah.
Life is about trial and error. You could do something, and if it succeeds, great. If it doesn't succeed, it's not the end of the world. Like, I remember someone saying that being rejected is not you being a failure, but it's a learning experience.
That's true.
Sometimes I try to wrap my head around it, and I still don't get it. How would you elaborate on that?
What do you mean?
Getting rejected is not you being a failure, but it being a learning experience.
Of course. When you get rejected, you know your weaknesses. You get to understand your weaknesses. You get to understand, okay, this is where I should have done better. And then you try again. And if it still doesn't work, you keep trying until you're able to achieve that thing. Because just because a door closes here doesn't mean it will close everywhere. If a door closed for you in this area, you can always try a different one. And eventually you find the right door.
Gotcha. It does make sense. So, sometimes when one door closes, another one opens.
Yes.
So for instance, you might look to go to university in one country. You have everything that you need to get there. You have all the requirements. But when you go there, they reject you. Now, it doesn't mean you're terrible. It's just that there's just something that you didn't have that would have impressed them.
Mm.
And people don't worry about it, because you will get yourself to a place where you never thought you'll be, but it'll be worth your while.
That's very true.
So just remember, no matter what you want to do, no matter where you want to go, within time and hard work and dedication, you will get there. I guarantee it.
Inshallah. We will get there. All of us.
I think this is where we can end this episode of the podcast. Thank you, Aisha, so much for coming on here.
You're welcome.
And to be honest, you really put more into this than I have, and I'm supposed to be the host. Hey, who knows? We might have you for the next episode, or maybe you might become a co-host here. Who knows? Only time will tell.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you so much for listening. If you did enjoy this episode of the podcast, don't forget to leave it a like, Write in the comments section your thoughts from each topic that we discussed. Follow mine, Abdullahi, and Khalil's social medias, even though they're not here. The link to everything will be in the description below. Is there any platform you want to shout out, Aisha?
No.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. We'll be back with another episode next Friday. But until then, this is Into Reality, and don't be daydreaming.